the other news, which is all about positive stories and good news stories from across the world. I'm working on this for a couple months, but now we're going to bring it live. And today I'm joined by correspondent Teresa Krug, who is from Arkansas right now.
Sorry?
How is it over there in Arkansas?
Yeah, the weather's perfect. As you can see, I'm sitting outside. It's not humid yet. We haven't had any tornadoes recently. We haven't had any of the hurricane aftermath. So it sounds like we're one of the only places in the U.S. right now that's just kind of calm.
That's perfect. We need some calm right now. I think that's the reason, too, why I'm bringing this good news, because we need it. There's so much going on in the world. So I'll get to it. The worst news that I have of the day is all about Jelly Belly. Okay, so if you guys are pop culture gurus like me, you're going to be just shocked by this story. So if you are familiar with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and Chocolate Factory, well, this one guy, David Klein, who was apparently a founder of Jelly Belly, has created this nationwide hunt for a golden ticket, which is really a golden dog tag in each state, about 1,000 participants per state. And if you go through with it and you find the golden tag and you pretty much go through these riddles, you have the chance of winning your own factory. I mean, Teresa, what do you think about this?
I loved the two movies growing up. And I think what kid who hasn't watched those movies or read the book hasn't dreamed of having their own candy factory? So, I was reading the article. It sounds like some of the details aren't quite worked out. He's like hiding it somewhere. It's a treasure hunt or something. So I'm curious. Excuse me. I'm curious to see how it all works out. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of people looking for it.
Oh my gosh, no, me too. So I'm curious as well. So my question is, what is the condition of this factory? Like what if it's kind of like, like the factory from 30 years ago that they're just trying to start to work on? And then I'm also curious, is candy still a thing? Like, do you think, what would you be selling a certain type of candy there? Do you think that you would make it work if you could?
I love novelty candy shops. So when I go into like a, sort of a throwback store when I'm traveling, or when I was traveling before the pandemic, I always liked finding the novelty candy stores and finding, like candy cigarettes. Things that you probably wouldn't want to give your children at this point, but I would hoard those and then send them to my family and my friends. So I think that they are still a thing. The other thing is, I'm also curious the condition of this factory. Who knows? And he has said that he's basically handing over the keys and that he is there as a consultant if you need him. So I'm wondering how many people out there just right out the gate would be able to just set up their own candy business store and be off and running and successful.
I'm telling you right now, not me. I think if I had that, I'd probably just put all the candy that I like, which is just mainly chocolate. So it would be Willy Wonka, just 2022 or whatever. But I feel like I'm curious, because I think the question is, do people have the knowledge base to actually run their own businesses, especially being a candy factory? But at the end of the day, it's something positive, something to distract us all. And you know what? It's a way to get yourself out of the house. Hopefully people can be socially distant during this time.
Yeah, well, it sounds like he's only giving away so many tickets or tags or something. So I'll be curious to see if there's a mad dash or not at the supermarket.
Oh, yeah, no, me too. I kind of wish that people could just find it and open it up like Charlie in the movie, but oh well. And then another story that definitely caught my eye today was about this young kid. His name is Cartier, and he is from Virginia, 11 years old. So get this. He started his own lemonade stand, and through this lemonade stand, made thousands of dollars. And what does he do with it? He donates it to single mothers and buys thousands upon thousands of diapers. I think he's at 22,500 right now. Incredible story. Have you ever even thought about something like this or been able to actually, been this much of an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I haven't personally done that, although I know, again, just from traveling, like diapers are very expensive. People are constantly coming up and asking for money for diapers. So I'm sure this is a huge relief for all those mothers. I think the other great thing about, sort of one of the only silver linings of this pandemic is that we're hearing a lot more good stories like this. Yes. People are so desperate for something that doesn't have anything to do with COVID or losing your job or all this other sad news we talk about on Quick Hits News all the time. that I love reading these stories about people stepping up and making a real difference in their communities. It's nice to hear and it's nice to see.
Yes, no, me too. Absolutely. I think it's just so needed. And I think what's happened before, especially with the news cycle, is that we would ignore the good news stories or not really think of them because it's kind of like, well, it's not what's important. And there is some fact to that, and the idea that it's not necessarily the most pressing matters, but now we look at these little glimmers of hope and really digest them and take them in, and we clap for things that are good. Which
I know for years everybody was like, "You're a journalist. Why don't you cover good news?" And I was like, "Well, it's not news, usually." But yeah, no, I'm glad that people, so many outlets are making space for these kinds of news now. I love what you're doing with your program. Yeah, and hopefully it's inspiring other people to step up and do things like this for their communities.
Absolutely, just give to their communities, have a big heart, and really just think about themselves more than others, which, I mean, people would argue is not the American way, but maybe it's becoming the American way now.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, Teresa, thank you so much for joining me today on The Other News. Hopefully there'll be more of these positive little breaks throughout the week. Maybe Fridays could be a good start. Happy Friday. I don't know. It could be a good thing.
I agree. Well, have me on anytime. I'm excited to see who you have on next week.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Teresa.
Okay.
And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to The Other News. There will be more of these as more good news trickles in. If you have any other updates or positive news from your personal background and or from your communities, please feel free to send it directly, tweet me. There you go. Tweet me, comment below. I look forward to reporting more positive stories from across the country and bringing that to you, especially during these times, just bringing a smile on your face. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday, and